Hello, Master Numerologist Andre Alvin Moore, and today I'd like to offer up my prayers to the Israelis and the Palestinians and Ukraine and Russia. Too much death, so much death, so much destruction. A lot of those lives will never be rebuilt. So let us bow our heads and pray that this madness come to an end sooner than later. Okay, thank you. These past few days, I've been thinking about why there's so much death in the world. Why so much blood is being spilled. And I've been really, really thinking on this subject matter because it's just so much of it. I'm looking at the bombing that's taking place in Palestine, in Ukraine, and other little wars that's going on around the world that's not getting as much attention. And so I've drawn a conclusion that humanity has a death wish. And that's my lesson for today. Humanity has a death wish. Humanity has a death wish. It can no longer deal or handle the pleasures or strife of life. It longs for the peace and serenity of heaven, its home where it resides before its karma brings it back to physical life. How many cycles of reincarnation must it endure before it is released from earthly life? In its subconsciousness, it knows it has incurred karmic debts due to living a false phantom life. Its greed for physical pleasure brings it back again and again. Humanity does not want to be here. That is why it hastens its physical life and indulges in violence, not only towards another, but towards itself as well. Humankind battles daily to do what is right. It's been around long enough to know the difference between what is wrong and what is right. The force of darkness known as Maya or ignorance pulls humanity into her blackness and surrounds it with insatiable appetites for the pleasures of food, sex, adventures, and other intoxicants such as drugs and foolishness. Humankind knows its primary purpose for each incarnation is to break free from the cosmic darkness and illusions called Maya, to come into the light of its celestial being. but instead it crucifies its Christ, preferring to pursue death. It drifts more profoundly and deeper into the sphere of pleasure and pain. Great enlightened masters who have done battle with darkness and succeeded in breaking free from Maya's cosmic illusions and her intoxicating attractiveness comes to help. The great avatar, Lord Krishna, says, if 100,000 souls search for me, only 10,000 will find me. And if 10,000 souls find me, only one will know me. The odds of breaking free from Maya's vibration pool is 1 of 100,000 odds. So humanity acts like a wrecking ball, tearing down its structure and body by using drugs, overeating, laziness, and participating in all of the mayhem and confusion. Why? Because humanity don't want to be here. In its inner space, it knows this is not its rightfully home. But because of its karma, it must be sent back here again and again and again. And once arrived back, you pick up where you left off, creating more desires, more wants, and going deeper and deeper into the darkness, making it almost impossible to escape. So, you don't want to be here. You want to get away from your pain and your suffering. So, why not just blow it up? And then that way, you don't have to come back. But that's not true. Because even if you blow it up, you still have to pay off your karmic debt. If not on this planet, then on another planet. If not in the body that you currently are in, and then another body. This is where humankind is at because nuclear bombs is in the hands of petulant leaders who threaten to blow it all up. It's a sickness, a blindness, a cancer, eating at the core of its inner being, inner space. Humanity fails to understand that death does not release the soul from its karmic debts. These debts must be paid. If not in this life, then another. If not on this planet, then another one. What lessons has humanity learned from World War I that could have deterred it from manifesting World War II? What lessons have humankind learned to prevent it from a third world war, which is now armed with nuclear weapons? The explosive violence now occurring in Israel and Palestine, the death blows at the hands of Russia and Ukraine, China, North Korea, and Iraq are waiting with itching fingers to jump into the fire, adding more death, blood, destruction, and chaos. The words death, wish contain 9 letters. Number 9 is the closer. Humanity wants to end its journey of reincarnation. It has grown tired of enjoying heaven and then having to come back to earth. Think about it. Why do you long for something greater than earth? Why do you pray that there's a better place? It's because you come from heaven. You may say, well, Andre, then why would I leave heaven to come to earth? Well, heaven is not your home. Your home is with God. Heaven is the place where you land while you're waiting to be reincarnated to try to break free from the chains of reincarnation. So that's what you're remembering. You're remembering that you was much more freer in your second body that I call an astral body, ASTRAL, than you are in your denser physical body. And so you long to go back there. But what you don't understand is that if you don't work to break the chains of physical incarnation, if you continue to want and to desire and to break the law of your being, then you must reincarnate again. Thy will shall be done. I gave an example of a great individual by the name of Lahiri Mahasaya that was longing for a palace, an earthly palace, and he died without fulfilling that. So he had to be reincarnated to fulfill that desire. But that was his only desire. And once he fulfilled it, he became a liberated soul. When you're a liberated soul, then karma, that force, that pull, does not bring you back. You come back willingly to be of service to the Lord, to aid in freeing other souls that is still caught up in Maya, in ignorance. Okay, let's move on. Letter D rules by number 4. Number 4 is a heavy burden. The soul must carry this burden called a body until it can break free. The weight of life becomes too much to bear until the soul, out of desperation, does everything it can to escape. Letter E rule by number 5. Number 5, wanting to be free. It feels restricted in this heavy clod called a body. A soul escapes from its prison when the body is laid down for its rest, but stays connected by what is known as the silver cord. Due to the cosmic illusion of Maya, most do not remember the nightly journeys out of the body. Letter A is ruled by number 1. Number 1 is the ego that misidentifies the physical body as its actual existence. While under the hypnosis of Maya, it indulges in all types of erroneous behavior. These wrong acts create karma that a soul must pay off, if not in this life, then in a future. Letter T is ruled by number 2. Number 2 is the trap of duality, the cosmic illusion of separation, division, and opposites. A soul is complete, for it is a divine spark, but it forgets its spiritual inheritance while journeying on earth. Once it leaves this earth plane and arrives in heaven, it gains more of its heavenly consciousness. Letter H is ruled by the number 8. Number 8 is the mighty cycle of reincarnation. Its double interlocking circles loop a soul around the cycles of its daily and dual experiences of heaven and earth. Letter W is ruled by the number 5. Number 5 represents your physical senses of sight, taste, touch, hearing, and smell. Each sense is capable of trapping like a spider web. Humanity wants to avoid being present on this dense plane of consciousness because it intuitively knows that a soul is free. I personally have yet to comprehend fully how the soul gets tangled up in matter. I've been on my path almost 50 years, and I've researched why is a soul in a body? Why isn't it free? And the closest explanation that I've been able to unravel is the works of Vivekananda and the sleeping prophet Edgar Cayce. Edgar Cayce states that when the Lord was creating these three worlds, the physical, the astral, and the casual, the soul, out of curiosity, wanted to know what the experience was like. And so it left God to partake of the creation, not knowing that once it is embedded in creation, it loses sight of its spiritual inheritance and it starts identifying with the unreal as real. And it takes great yogis and masters to understand that you are not of this material world to come to try to free our consciousness from this attachment. And Lord Krishna says that if 100,000 searched for the Lord, only 10,000 will find the Lord. And if 10,000 sought for the Lord, only one will know the Lord. The odds are against us. So we're tired of having to replay this life and death, the pain and the suffering and the pleasure that comes along with physical life. These are some of the reasons why we're sabotaging this physical planet. This is one of the reasons why we're committing suicide at an alarming rate, killing one another, declaring war on each other because we don't want to be here. We want to go home. We want to go to the place where we're at before we come here. But in order to stay in heaven, you have to free yourself from the physical attachments, which is very hard to do. But let's go on. Okay, so I'm on letter W, which I said is ruled by the number 5. Number 5 represents your physical senses of sight, taste, touch, hearing, and smell. Each sense is capable of trapping you like a spider's web. Humanity wants to avoid being present on this dense plane of consciousness because it intuitively knows that a soul is free. I have yet to comprehend fully how the soul gets tangled up in matter, but out of desperation to free itself from its confinement, it works to destroy it. As of this writing, America is experiencing another mass shooting. A killer killed 18 people and injured 13. Why? Professionals say he has mental challenges, but the truth of the matter is he is tired of living. So he chose to kill others to ensure that at some point his life will be taken. I know it sounds unbelievable, but it's true. Humanity has a death wish. That individual that killed 18 individuals and injured 13 killed himself. A few days later, they found his body. They say he had mental problems. Most of us is struggling mentally, or we're struggling emotionally, or we're battling with our diseases and our illnesses physically. We all are going through something, and we're tired of it. We want, we know we are free. We know we are spark of divine, but we do not understand why am I finding myself back on this planet again and again and again. Earth is not a pleasure zone, it's a hell. We have to endure a hellish environment, natural disasters, hurricanes, earthquakes, typhoons, sandstorms, windstorms, pestilence, diseases, poisonous animals, poisonous fruits, infighting with ourselves, with our brothers and sisters, nations, dropping bombs on one another, other countries waiting in the wings to jump into the fire, like China, to participate in the bloodbath. We abuse our environment, pollute our air and water, and grow our foods using pesticides and other harmful chemicals. We adorn our bodies with artificial fragrances and undergo cosmetic surgeries to alter our appearances. We look towards others to bring us happiness and joy, but when other fails, we lash out at them. Why are so many people migrating from their countries, primarily El Salvador, Guatemala, Honduras? What is the deeper significance? Economic uncertainties, government corruption, crime, violence, and increasingly climate change is driving the migration. Most Guatemalans and Hondurans live below the poverty line. Why? And most people in the Northern Triangle are employed in the informal sector, depriving them of social protections and insurance. The pandemic has disproportionately affected Latin America in public health and economic terms and has laid bare governance deficiencies across the region. Meanwhile, the erosion of democratic checks and balance by populist politicians and corrupt officials has left many Northern Triangle's residents expatriated and disenfranchised. Suicide is a significant public health concern worldwide, and it is estimated that over 700,000 people die by suicide each year. Letter I is ruled by number 9. Number 9 rules endings and completions. A soul grows tired of reincarnating. It wants out of its confinement. Instead of working on its liberation while in a physical body, it diverts its attention and finds itself enjoying the poisonous fruits of life. Overindulges in food, sex, alcohol, drugs, and getting hooked on pharmaceuticals. Letter S is ruled by number 1. Humanity lives on planet Earth, the only planet suitable for our species. So why do we want to blow it up? Why are we dropping bombs and discharging missiles? Does not man know that Mother Earth has a conscience? Letter H rules by the number 8. We have become entangled in cosmic illusion as a soul, a spark of God. As a soul, you must use your willpower to overcome the magnetic pull of cosmic illusion. Death of the physical world is not the answer. Doing spiritual work to loosen the bonds that hold you tight is the proper way to become free. In Revelations, the 3rd chapter, 12th verse, we read, Him that overcometh will I make a pillar in the temple of my God, and he shall go no more out. And I will write upon him the name of my God and the name of the city of my God, which is the New Jerusalem, which cometh down out of heaven from my God, and I will write upon him my new name. The number pattern for death wish is 4512859118 and vibrates on the 43rd level, further reduced to the number 7. A soul is a spark of the divine, sent to earth to work out its karmic debts. It reincarnates due to erroneous teachings preached by false prophets who cannot lead you out of the wilderness of Maya. Out of desperation, humanity has accepted death as their birthright. Humanity has a death wish. We don't embrace life. We have a reverence for death. And we stand by and we allow masses of people to die. The war in Ukraine has been going on almost 2 years, and we haven't done anything to stop it. Israel wants to wipe out Hamas from the planet of the earth. And if it means killing innocent children and babies and mothers or displacing them from their homes, then so be it. It's a horrible, horrible experience, but yet this is what we're inflicting on one another. It's a cancer. It's a disease. And so now the world is saying, well, we got nuclear armory. And we're threatened to blow it all up. But it thinks that if you just blow the planet Earth into a billion pieces, it can finally rest in heaven. But that's not true. Because God would just create another Earth, or God would just choose another planet and send you back. So we might as well use this time to try to become spiritually realized. Very hard to do because we don't have competent teachers teaching us. So many of those that we entrusted to bring us spiritual truths are not holy people. They're running games. They're running a con. They have fallen in love with power. So humanity does have a death wish, but death does not mean the end. So until the next video, peace.